this is Brendan Wilmington, and welcome to the Lumen Stock Car Invitational. We are running the Season 4 All-Star Race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, this is actually the All-Star Open that you're seeing right now, but we will have the All-Star Race later. Um, this is the third race where we have run. This is the third season, rather, where we have run the All Star race. All three have been at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we know that this race can get very hectic. Last year, it was very hectic as well. We even had some tempers flaring last year. But for right now, this very moment, we've got two cars that need to qualify their way into the All Star race, one of them by winning the All Star Open, and one of them via the fan vote. Now, the All Star Open is going to be a 60 lap race with these drivers that you see right here. The drivers that were not able to get into the All Star race by winning a race in the past season. So everybody gets a shot here to get into this event. Joined alongside me for the second year in a row in this race is Caleb Rose. And Caleb, this is your home track, Bristol Motor Speedway. So you can tell us a little bit about the racetrack and maybe tell us a little bit about what to expect in the All Star Open.
Definitely looking forward to see what all events we will see unfold here tonight here from the All-Star race, especially considering the venue that we are at, the Bristol Motor Speedway, very familiar with this racetrack. It always usually produces very fun racing, and I think we could definitely see quite a bit here tonight. Like I said, I'm definitely expecting a lot of good racing. Could definitely expect some chaos, of course, with it being the Bristol Motor Speedway. But regardless, these guys are going to be fighting tooth and nail for every spot here out on this racetrack, and it's going to be interesting to see how the night develops as it goes along. And we're starting it out here in the open, so everybody will be fighting for their spot in the All-Star race, and then we have, I believe, group qualifying for the All-Star, and then we have the All-Star itself, which all should definitely be very fun in their own right, and definitely cannot wait to see how the events will play out.
Now, the group qualifying will not be in the YouTube video, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry. But if you're watching this on the Discord, you'll get to see that. Uh, they call this place the last great Coliseum, and we've got 19 gladiators out here to do battle. And what's unique about this race is that second doesn't get you anything. The only position that matters is first. And starting in first right here is a bit of a surprise. It is Rhea Wickham driving the number 2 car for Martin Swain race team. Every team that started at least 7 of the first 14 races were permitted entry into this race, so we'll see a few of the part-time cars in here as well, but it is mostly full-time drivers. On the outside of the 2 of Rhea Wickham is the 70 of Andrew Kreider. Row number 2, we got the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger and the 77 car of JT Boyd. Row number 3, we've got a pair of Blake Everett Motorsports cars. It's the 36 of Sophia Miller-Lee and the 52 car of Ashley Blake. Then it's the 32 of Paula Sasikwa alongside the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck. You got the 29 of JB Chanot and the 58 of Joanna Clark. Billy Smith in the 88, who almost got himself in the All-Star race last week, but unfortunately lost the lead late in the race to Zach Dearman and did not end up winning that race. So now he has to go through the open. And alongside him is the 55 of Michael Harvin. Then we've got the 85 of Charlie McCarron, the Season 2 All-Star race winner. And she got in through the fan vote that year, but she's once again back in the open and she's going to have to qualify in. Alongside her is the 62 car of Vinnie Scholes. Then it's the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway, the 57 of Shauna Everett. We've got the 27 of Adrienne Fearson and the 24 of Cooper Spur. And rounding out the field here is the 45 car of James Harvin. Once again, a 60-lap race here today. And there should not be any pit stops in this race, but I could be proven wrong. If we get a caution, we might see guys coming in pit. But yeah, it's just a 60-lap straight shot to the end. No gimmicks or anything. We're going to save that for the All-Star race. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see which 2 drivers will end up getting out of the open and into the main event. And it's certainly going to be a fun time to see who those end up being.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the field will roll off the backstretch here at Bristol. Caleb, who do you think is going to transfer into the All-Star race through this race?
Oh, he's still got a lot of strong cars here in the open, and honestly, one I'd probably be eyeing is that number 29 of JB Chanot. They've had a pretty strong season, and I'd be watching out for that 29 car here in the Open to potentially move on.
JB Chanot starting in 9th in the 29 car. Rhea Whitcomb and Andrew Kreider will lead them to the green. We are underway in the All-Star Open. And already making contact in turns 1 and 2. Tamarin Bellinger bodies Andrew Kreider out of the way. And that did not take long at all. That was, what, a few seconds before we had our first run in? That's just what this track is like. These guys are going to be going for every position, as Rhea Whitcomb will lead the first lap, and here comes the 65 of Bellinger. Kreider still back in 3rd, and then Boyd and Blake fighting for 5th there. And as you'll see, these drivers will be sliding all over the racetrack. This track is very slick, so it's not easy to get around this place, this half-mile oval, but, you know, they're going to try their best here, and we're going to see some crazy moves being made in the corners.
Like I said, pretty crazy. These guys are going to be fighting tooth and nail out there here. And already from the get-go, we've already seen an example of that with Bellinger dooring Kreider up the racetrack.
She saves
that
it
was
off the
close
turn 2.
there again. We're already having a couple run-ins here early on in the Open, but still yet to see any kind of wrecks, knock on wood. But Rhea Whitcomb doing a pretty good job there in the 2, trying to maybe pull away a little bit with the race lead. Bellinger tried to reel them in there, but went a little bit wide there. And is losing a little bit of time here as that 65 maybe struggling a little bit getting into the corners.
Do not underestimate Rhea Whitcomb here at this racetrack. She absolutely dominated and won the amateur race that she ran here last year. So she's a very good driver to get the job done here in the Open. She has a lot of experience at this racetrack. But she's doing a good job right now, and one unique quirk of this track is you'll see sometimes the leader get out to a several-second lead, but that lead can evaporate quickly. So no amount of a lead is safe at this racetrack, no matter how safe it may seem, especially because a caution could happen at any given moment, but even so much as second place just reeling in lap after lap could be enough to make that 1 second lead that Rhea Whitcomb have evaporate in an instant.
Definitely, especially just with how slippery this racetrack is. One mistake can be all it can take to pretty much throw a huge chunk out of your race lead. Rhea Whitcomb still trying to hang on, still just trying to hang on to about a second to the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger. Got a couple battles going on back here. 52 and 32 going at it. Michael Harvin trying to get by JB Chanot there. That's the battle for the 7th position on the track, and all over the 32 sideways.
And upside down,
McCarron's upside down.
And for the second time in 3 weeks, the 85 has gone flipping at a short track. And McCarron's day is done. Caution is out on lap 12. That was a big one. The first one I saw go around was the 32. Cooper Spur looks like he's got damage as well. Sasik was in the pit lane. Oh boy.
Thing about short track tempers, it's like a pot on the stove on the heat. If you don't let it cool off, it eventually boils over. And there you have it right there.
Oh, and there's the tempers right there.
Oh.
JB Chanot and Paula Sasiqua are getting into it big time, and honestly, that might have been bad enough for parking for the 29 car. That was retaliation. That was really intense. If this is just the race to get into the All-Star race. Oh boy.
Is this a boiling pot or a pressure cooker? Because I think the top just blew.
Kind of like Mount St. Helens. Look, it was only a matter of time before I got some sort of volcano joke in there. I'm a volcano nerd.
Hey, there you go.
Well, first caution of the day on lap number 12 was a massive one, and McCarron was able to drive it back, so we know that she's all right after taking that tumble. Honestly, a miracle that she was able to drive it back, but she is going to be out of the race, I'd imagine. Oh my goodness, she's still going.
Hello.
There is no quit in this 85 car. She goes tumbling down the front stretch and she's still going. That's incredible. I don't imagine she'll be very fast, but you know, she can try. That's still admirable.
It's a short track, so she might be down, but I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, the first caution of the race on lap number 12, we're going to show you the replay of what happened, and then we'll get you back to the restart here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Well, here is what caused the first yellow of the race. Paula Sasiqua just overdrives turn 4 right into the side of Ashley Blake, and then nowhere to go for JB Chanot or Charlie McCarron. Sophia Miller-Lee also involved in the accident, and McCarron goes flipping wildly down the front stretch here at Bristol. Very reminiscent of what happened to her at Evergreen a couple weeks ago. Although this wreck was definitely a lot more spectacular looking. And somehow, I forgot to mention one of the gimmicks of the All-Star race is that we do have stronger bodies here. We have moderate damage on. So, McCarron was somehow able to keep going after that. I don't imagine she'll be very fast, but you know, maybe she'll get in through the fan vote because she has gone in through the fan vote before. So that'd be pretty funny if she still got in anyway. But as long as she finishes, she's still eligible for that. So yeah, unfortunately, McCarron got the worst of that, and then we had a bit of an incident under caution as well, which you're going to see here in a second. On board with Cooper Spur, who probably had a good view of that wreck. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well, McCarron was not the only one to go upside down on that. It looked like the 32 also ended up getting tipped over, and that's where Cooper Spur got his damage.
Well, JB Chanot, in short, we owe you a bit of an apology here as we're watching the 32 come back out on the racetrack here. You're going to see in the background JB Chanot trying to catch back up here. Has a line of cars to the inside. Can't see. Here comes the 32 across the racetrack. Chanot trying to brake. Can't quite stop in time and just runs into the back of the 32. Just, again, just like the accident, just nowhere for JB Chanot to go there as the 32 just about completely cut back across the racetrack without any kind of warning there. That's a tough break for Chanot there. And again, just apologies for potentially thinking that Chanot did that on purpose there.
Yeah, and if you're confused about the timeline of events, we were too. Sasiqua got towed to the pit lane after the incident with Cooper Spur there, but it only took a few seconds because she was on the front stretch, and so that was her leaving the pits after getting towed. And it looks like the 62, Vinny Scholes, also got damaged somewhere. So not a good All-Star Open for Pacific Racing. But yeah, JB Chanot definitely should not be. I mean, she should probably be given some sort of warning or something for being a little reckless there. But she just couldn't see the 32, and that was a bit of a mistake on the 29's part. And she did try to slow down, but it was too late. So I wouldn't expect her to get parked for that, but definitely a slap on the wrist for sure. Welcome back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're wrapping up our first caution of the race on lap number 16. Somehow, despite the violence of that wreck, nobody was taken out of that accident. Charlie McCarron and Paula Sasiqua will be lining up on the inside on this restart. Rhea Wickham has led every lap so far, but she's going to have a hard time keeping that lead with the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger, Andrew Kreider, JC Boyd, and Ashley Blake rounding out the top 5 here. Green flag is back up here at Bristol. We are underway once again. And 985 is very off the pace. It's a miracle that she's even running to begin with after that violent tumble down the front stretch. But she is going to be a problem for the rest of this Open. As for the race lead, Tamarin Bellinger looking underneath the 2-car of Rhea Wickham, and they've got it. Moves to 65 to the lead.
2 tried to cross over, but got a little bit tight, loose. I don't know what happened there, but shot off the racetrack, and here comes the 70. Andrew Kreider looking to potentially take advantage. Yeah, at the start there, we saw the 85 McCarron start bleeding positions there, but the 32 is is honestly still looking relatively quickly, especially with the damage that that car has, because she has gotten by her leaders and trying to hold on. I believe she's back on the lead lap right now as it stands, but here comes Bellinger, put her back a lap down. Going side by side down the backstretch, battle raging on for second between Whitcomb and Kreider. Kreider trying to hang on around the outside. A lot of great battles here on this racetrack. 32 hangs on for the time being, actually. And another Kreider gets doored up the track again, this time by Rhea Whitcomb.
And now JT Boyd is underneath Andrew Kreider, and this is something you gotta watch out for. Paula Sisiqua might get in the way of the leader and cause some more shenanigans up at the front. She doesn't seem to be too badly damaged from that, so it seems like Sisiqua is, if she can get a caution here, she might still be in this, crazy enough. Side by side for fourth, the 77 of JT Boyd underneath Michael Harvin, and then further back, JB Chanot, who is still on the racetrack. I guess the officials decided not to park her after that incident on the back straightaway with Sisiqua, which you guys have already seen. Ooh, that was another close call between the 52 and the 29. But she's still out there, and here comes Rhea Whitcomb. She's closing in on the 65 of Bellinger. We might have another exchange for the lead coming here soon. Bellinger washed up out of 2. This could be an opportunity, but Whitcomb wasn't able to get under.
Not quite yet, but Whitcomb is there all over the back bumper of that 65, trying to look for a way around. Zequa right in front of the 65 as well. You got Kreider back there. Bellinger looking to the inside. Alex Zequa trying to put that 32 back a lap down. Doesn't get the best entry into 3 and 4. See if the 32 can roll the top and clear. Not quite. They stay side by side. Bellinger kind of took the air off the 32 there, kind of shoved her outside, but still they remain side by side. This 32 is not giving up.
She wants to still have that chance to get into the All-Star race, and if she falls a lap down, that chance will probably go away. She's just banking on that caution. Rhea Whitcomb is loving this, though. This is keeping Bellinger from running away, and the former Amateur Series teammates are now going to go side by side for the lead once again. And Rhea Whitcomb is back out in front, not without a fight from Bellinger, though, but Bellinger gets loose, and now Kreider's going to have a shot on the inside lane.
Those guys battling let everybody behind catch up, like Andrew Kreider. Michael Harvin, 55, is up into 4th. JT Boyd is also up there, looking to try and make some noise. All of our
might pass Harvin for 4th here.
They're all up here battling. Man, this is crazy. Oh, Whitcomb now trying to make a move.
Whitcomb trying to get underneath the 32 of Sisiqua, and she will.
Oh, got it.
So that's a crucial move there for the 2 car. Now there's a lap car between herself and everybody else. Tamron Bellinger is going to have to try and find a way around, although if Whitcomb washes up the track like that, that could let Sisiqua back underneath, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And Bellinger's going to have another chance. Whitcomb up the racetrack. They're side by side again for the race lead.
Still side by side, door to door here in 3 and 4. Bellinger trying to hold it on the inside. Whitcomb trying to roll the top. Gonna clear into 1 and 2. See if the 2 can maybe come back down. No, Bellinger still with her nose underneath the 2, but Whitcomb's gonna clear there off of turn at number 2. Got a slow car coming up. It's the 85, Charlie McCarron. This car is a lot more noticeably off the pace. So we'll have to see if McCarron maybe throws a wrench into things here.
I wonder if Bellinger's trying to set up to use the 85 as a pick here in turn 3. They're not close enough to make the move yet, but Whitcomb is up the track still. Andrew Kreider going to try something here on the inside, and they're all going to bottle up into turn number 1. How's this going to end? Bellinger up the track again. The 2 car now stuck behind the 85, and the 85 goes up the track. That should give Rhea Whitcomb a lane underneath McCarron. But Bellinger's going to follow underneath. JT Boyd, Andrew Kreider getting into it for 3rd. And Kreider's going to get blocked here in turn 3, so that's going to help out the front too. Kreider getting underneath here in turns 1 and 2, so he's going to get away with 3rd. Michael Harvin moving up to 4th. Looks like he'll get by McCarron on the back straightaway. No, not quite. Still trying to get past the 85. It's not the easiest to get past lap cars here because the preferred line shifts. The inside lane is preferred in 1 and 2, but you want to be on the outside in 3 and 4. So there's really no way for the 85 to get out of the way, even if she wanted to. And now Rhea Wickham has to deal with Paula Sasikwa again. Will she be able to get past the 32? It looks like she will.
Gonna get past her there, but the question is, can she stay ahead of that 32? Bellinger and Kreider still going at it back here for second with Harvin and Boyd waiting in the wings. And where in the world did Joanna Clark come from? Now battling JT Boyd there for 5th.
Trying to join her teammate up there towards the front. But I tell you what, Rhea Wickham starting to pull away. But again, don't let that fool you. This race is not over by any means. You can lose that lead pretty quickly here, especially if the 32 ends up getting involved in this again. And it looks like she's trying to. Bellinger trying to close in. Michael Harvin trying to threaten Andrew Kreider here for 4th. JT Boyd is holding on to 5th. Here comes Harvin to the inside of Kreider. Will he be able to make the pass in 3 and 4? You don't really want to be on the inside in 3 and 4, and that's going to allow Kreider, at least on entry, to pull ahead. But if he can stay underneath Kreider into turn 1, that should give him the spot. And, oh, they make contact. Ooh. He did get the spot, but not without a little bit of short track contact there. And now the 77 and 58 are underneath the 70 car. Meanwhile, up in front, Rhea Wickham has pulled ahead of the 32 car of Paula Sasikwa, and now Bellinger's having issues trying to get past the 32. Here comes Michael Harvin on the outside going for 2nd. And now all of a sudden he's in the catbird seat to try and take this win if Rhea Wickham has an issue.
Big move there from Harvin around the outside of Bellinger. Stood up a little bit there, but got the drive off. And now Harvin up into 2nd potentially in the spot to maybe take this away if Wickham maybe slips up one too many times. But still needs to try and fend off the 65 of Bellinger, who tries to send it to the inside. They're going to stay side by side. They're going into 3, but Harvin's got the advantage on entry on the outside and stays clear for the time being. And he actually closed in a little bit, I think, that last time by to Rhea Wickham. So that 55 definitely looking fast. Cameron Bellinger right behind him, and back here it's a battle now for 4th between Joanna Clark and JT Boyd. But honestly, I think unless something crazy happens at this rate, I think it might come down to one of our top 3.
I agree with you. I don't think those guys, they're about 3 seconds back of the leader. I don't think they're going to get back into this battle. Wickham's lead got trimmed just a little bit, but it might open up again here on this lap, and it will. I think this 55 needs to find a way around Paula Sasikwa because she does stuff like that and cuts him off into turn 2, and that's going to hold him up a little bit. I think he just needs to find the fastest way around this 32. We're coming up on 10 laps to go here very soon. We're on 11 to go right now. This might be a good opportunity. Here. They're going to be side by side down the back. But again, he's not in the preferred lane in 3 and 4. He's just got to kind of stick with it. And it looks like he is going to be able to. And maybe bringing the 65 with him. Contact made between the 65 and 32, but they are both able to clear the 32 of Sasikwa. And now it's just a matter of if they can run down Wickham. And they are closing back in on Charlie McCarron. McCarron might hold up the 2 car. That's exactly what she's doing. Will the 55 and 65 have enough time to catch back up?
This isn't a good time to catch the 85.
And here they come.
That might be the worst time to catch the 85.
The 2 will get past here in 1 and 2. And now the 55 will have to find a way around Charlie McCarron. He's going to try it here in turn number 3. McCarron runs really low, ran him out of room. Harvin should be able to pass her here. And the gap is pretty similar to what it was before, but now no more lap traffic in the way of 2nd and 3rd. It's just going to be about the pace of the car and the lines of the drivers now.
We're closing a little bit that last time by, but probably needs to be a bit quicker if he wants to try and run down the 2. Almost fell into the clutches there, the 65 of Cameron Bellinger, but just barely got enough of a run to hold them off. Here we go, 5 laps to go. The gap closes again, now to under a second to Ray Whitcomb. This 55 is flying. Could he have a shot here?
I think they're gonna have a shot as long as Bellinger stays behind Harvin and doesn't try and battle him yet. I think Bellinger needs to kind of work together to close up to the 2 car because the only position that matters is first. So
they're
if
gonna
they
have
can
a
get
shot.
themselves into a position to pass the 2 car, then Bellinger can start making some moves. And Harvin is rapidly closing in on this 2 car. Bad exit off the corner for Wickham. Here
Here
comes
we
Harvin
go.
to the inside with 3 laps to go, and he's got it. It was just as easy as that. But was that the last move from Ray Whitcomb? Will Whitcomb try to fight back?
We'll see, coming to 2 to go. That was a good line by Whitcomb there through 3 and 4. See if she can maybe replicate it here through 1 and
Harvin's
2.
up the track.
She
Here
can.
comes the 2.
Here comes Whitcomb looking to go for one final move here.
White
Here
flag
we go,
in the
coming to the white
air.
flag.
1 lap to go between Michael Harvin and Ray Whitcomb, the series veteran versus the rookie. Harvin has a good line through 1 and 2. Whitcomb bobbles,
Whitcomb
and
at
that
wide.
might have been it. Going through 3 and 4, Whitcomb loses a ton of time, and it's going to be Michael Harvin advancing into the All-Star race by winning the All-Star Open. Whitcomb comes home in second, Bellinger in third, but those positions don't matter. The only one that mattered was first. How about that for Michael Harvin? He just took that win away right at the very end. I'm pretty sure he only led the final 3 laps, but that's all he needed to lead to get into the All-Star race. So Michael Harvin will be one of our 2 drivers advancing through the All-Star race. And the other one will be our fan vote winner, and it was the 41 of Karina Willis-Callaway, who finished in 13th.
Let's go.
So Karina Willis-Callaway will also be All-Star Racing, joining Michael Harvin in that race. Well, that All-Star Open was very, very entertaining, and if that is anything like what we're about to see in the main events, then it's going to be a crazy one, that's for sure.
Definitely, that was a crazy, crazy race. Like I said, we saw a lot of great racing, saw a lot of chaos, had some controversy in there as well, but that was just the open. We still got a whole nother race. We still got the main race coming up, and it'll be a double the length of this one. And I have no doubt that that one will be absolute cinema as well. That was a great race to start the night out here from Bristol, and a big congratulations to Michael Harvin for getting it done, making the main event, and nice to see Karina Willis-Callaway also moving on as well. A very feel-good story there for her and that team. But man, I can after a race like that, I cannot wait for the main event here in just a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun from the get off. That was classic short track racing. And yeah, I'm going to be excited to see what happens in the main event for sure. Which you guys on YouTube, you're about to see it here in just a moment. Welcome back to the Lumen Stock Car Invitational. You just saw the end of the All-Star Open, and now we're ready to run the feature-length 120-lap All-Star race. Now, this race is not a straight shot like the other one was. We are going to have 2 fun cautions in this race. We're going to have a caution at lap 50, and we're going to have one at lap 95. The caution laps are 5 laps long at this track, so the best way to think of it would be a 50-lap run, then a 40-lap run, and then one final 20-lap run. And then, like I mentioned, in the All-Star Open, we're also on moderate damage for this race. So even if you have a big accident, that doesn't necessarily mean you're out of the race in this race, because we want to keep as many drivers in the race as possible. For this particular event, because it's just for fun. It's not for points at all. But there is still a lot of money on the line, that's for sure. And Caleb, we just saw the All-Star Open and how crazy the drivers were racing just to get into this race. Now that we're actually in the main event, are we expecting some more of that?
I definitely think we could expect what we saw in the Open and potentially a lot more here in the main event, of course. We kind of mentioned double in length and Definitely a lot more factors involved, and like you said, this is for all the marbles right here. So the anticipation is definitely going to get a lot higher. The aggression's going to ramp up. The patience is going to go down. So yeah, I definitely think we could expect quite a lot to go down here in this main event, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it definitely will be. Let's go over your starting lineup, which was determined by a group qualifying session that we ran just a little bit ago. It was it was a pretty crazy group qualifying session. There were a lot of incidents, but thankfully, all these guys are ready to race. Jake Sidney is on the pole. He just continues to impress these last few weeks. He's been absolutely insane in that 19 car ever since he won the Lumen 500. To his outside is the Lumen 500 pole sitter, the number 55 of Michael Harvin, who raced his way in the All Star Open. And since the qualifying run was after the All Star Open, the two drivers that got in through the Open actually got to qualify instead of start in the back, and both of them start in the top five here today. Row number two, we got the 99 of Akira Tajima and the 40 of Adrian Wheeler. Row number three is the three car of George Bryan, and your fan vote winner, the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. Row number four is the 6 of Holly Martin and the 92 car of Kate Summers. Then we've got the 8 of Darren Walker, the winner of this race last year. In fact, Walker Brothers Racing is 2 for 2 in the All Star race, trying to make it 3 for 3 here. They've got two cars in the All Star race this time. Of course, we saw what happened to Charlie McCarron, their third car in the All Star Open. Hopefully, that doesn't happen to Walker or DuPont, though. To the outside of Walker is the 50 of Jacob Lopez, and then the 1 of Kevin DuPont, two of our past champions, alongside the 9 of Laurie Jackson. Then we've got our third past champion, the 81 of Jack Gino, in the same row as Tyler Landry in the 66. A couple of surprise drivers in the All-Star race. Got the 13 of Damon Kirby and the 42 of Lulu Connie. And of course, both of them got in from wins they got last year, so they're just as much of an all-star as the rest of these guys. Lakin Herndon in the 39 and the 11 of Tim Berry, who currently has a massive points lead. Of course, this race won't count towards the points, so it's not going to matter for tonight. He's going to start back in 18th, and rounding out the field is the 18 of Zach Dearman and the 16 of Corbin Taps. Like I mentioned, 120 laps here at Bristol, and we will have two scheduled stage cautions in the middle to break things up. So things are going to get crazy here at the last Great Coliseum.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. That was from the previous attempt. So everyone rolling off just fine. Caleb, who do you think is going to win the All-Star race today?
Like I kind of mentioned pre-race, he's been on an insane run here lately. He's won the pole for the main race. I think Jake Sidney might get it from the pole here tonight in the main event.
He has 3 wins in 3 wins in 16 career starts, so that's very impressive for him. He and Michael Harvin will lead them to the green here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The All-Star race is underway. And Sidney is already checked out from the field. But like we mentioned in the Open, that doesn't necessarily mean this race is over, especially when it's twice as long as it was before. You've got the Motor Racing Ventures teammates of Michael Harvin and Adrian Wheeler side by side for second. Harvin's going to try and clear him off the top side, but it's not enough. Actually, it is going into turn number 1. But he slipped up in 1 and 2, and Wheeler is still to the inside, and already a 2.2 second lead for Jake Sidney just because these guys keep fighting behind him. Harvin finally is able to take control of second, but look at all the time they ended up losing.
And lost a lot of time there battling it out there for second, but like you said, we know how fast leads can evaporate here, and alongside that, we do have the planned cautions that we'll have later in the race, so there's also that to keep in mind. Karina almost got in the wall there, 3 and 4, and almost got clipped off of 4 there by Akira Tajima. And that 41 car is just going to simply slot in behind the 99 of Akira Tajima now. Sitting now in the 5th position is that 41 of Karina Willis Calloway. But so far, that was a really good jump from the 19 of Jake Sidney. He's already almost 4.5 seconds clear from the rest of the field.
That's the fastest huge lead I've ever seen. But again, they can go away quickly here. and we do still have 2 stage cautions. See right there, Michael Harvin ate into his lead a little bit. Because if you slip up on any given lap, you're going to be losing a lot of time. That's a big time difference, and that's a factor of just how the track races, and also just the short length of the track as well. Stabilized to about 4.2, but here we go again for second as the MRV teammates continue to battle each other as Wheeler goes underneath Harvin once again. Harvin's going to try and clear him off the top, but once again, it's not enough. And Wheeler's still going to be on the inside. Oh, they make contact, and Harvin's up the track. Adrian Wheeler has had enough.
Adrian Wheeler knew that they might have had a faster car and had enough, doored him out of the way once they had the opportunity, and now Wheeler is up into second. Tajima takes advantage of all that to move up to third. Harvin, probably not the happiest camper now, falls down into fourth, and now Willis Calloway trying to hang on to the fifth position, trying to fend off the three of George Bryan. A lot of battling going on back here throughout the field. Jacob Lopez going after Kate Summers there in the 92. Got Lori Jackson and Corbin Taps there behind them. Jackson blocking Corbin down to the inside there. A couple guys running wide there through turns 1 and 2, but a lot of battles going on this racetrack so far here in the All-Star race. But up front, it's pretty calm there for the 19 of Jake Sidney. Now he's pulled away to a 5-second lead. Now back to Tajima, who has passed Adrian Miller there for second.
Yep, Akira Tajima now in second. He's slipping up off of turn 4, though. That might give Wheeler an opportunity to get back to the inside. And again, we are going to have a caution on lap number 50, so Sidney's lead will not stay like this the entire way. He's going to have to hold them off, but Sidney off to a great start, taking advantage of all this battling going on behind him. But Tajima's trying to close in bit by bit on that number 19 car. Karina Willis Calloway running in 5th. Oh, that was close call there between the Walker Brothers Racing teammates. Kevin DuPont got a little squirrely off the corner. How about Lulu Connie running in the top 10 here early in the race? Might have something for Kevin DuPont here. Was not able to get under him there, but might be able to get under him off of turn 2.
Maybe set him up.
Side. But good run for Connie Twins Motorsports. They had a pretty good run going in the All-Star race last year as well, but it all kind of fell apart as Kaleo Connie got into the wall, and then later Simon Lawrenson got into a bit of a scuffle. But again, they're off to a good start here in the All-Star race. Jake Sidney 5.3 seconds up on Akira Tajima, and once again, the teammates are battling again. I'm sure Michael Harvin is not happy with Wheeler after getting doored by him earlier, so we might have to keep an eye on this battle for third to see if it gets heated. They might be teammates, but that doesn't mean that Harvin's going to be okay with just getting roughed out of the way.
Definitely not, and I would not doubt if 55. It's a little bit hot in the helmet there after the 40 just doored them out of the way. And we're having a fair battle going on until that point, as we got a lot of close quarters racing going on here. Tajima slips up a little bit there through 3 and 4. Wheeler trying to get down to the inside. We'll get to the inside here through 1 and 2. Tajima goes up the track a little bit. Oh, Harvin peaking low as Tajima still stays on the outside of the 40. Still side by side here through 3 and 4. And this is exactly what Jake Sidney wants to see as he continues to pull away now to 6 seconds. As Wheeler clears Tajima finally there for second, and looking to potentially try and pull away and maybe close in a little bit to that 19 of Jake Sidney, but I will tell you what, that 19 right now is just on rails right now. Even if he is slipping up a little bit every now and then, he is still far away with that lead as the battle for second continues to rage on here.
Yeah, this is some great stuff for second place here between these 3 drivers, but the bad news is that it is for second place. 7 seconds now for Jake Sidney, and he's starting to catch up to lap traffic here on lap 22. Uh-oh, the 92 is in the pits. Not sure why. No mechanical issue on that car. She's come in for tires. I don't know what's happened to the 92, but that's unfortunate, and Pacific Racing's rough All-Star race weekend continues, as now all 3 of their cars have had trouble. Speaking of trouble, that was right in front of the leader, Jake Sidney. Damon Kirby and Zach Dearman battling for last got together, and that could have been disaster for our race leader. And the thing about catching this lap traffic is he really cannot pull out ahead anymore of Adrian Wheeler. So this could be an opportunity for these guys to close in, and you can see the big amount of time that Wheeler just gained there on the 19 of Sydney, as Sydney has caught his teammate Zach Dearman. But Dearman's not going to let him by that easy. And we're already halfway through our first stint of the race on lap number 26 of 120.
We're going side by side in front of our racer. That's really holding him up. We saw him really get on the brakes there going into 3 and 4. This is going to let these guys behind close in a lot. Wheeler already did close in quite a bit that last time by. I wouldn't doubt who closed in a little bit that past time by once again. Dearman got really loose there through 1 and 2. Sydney trying to go around the outside here of his teammate. Looking to clear going into 1 and 2. He's going to do just that. Just needs to be careful not to slip it too wide. Dearman trying to get back down to the inside, but is going to hold off for the time being and see the position right now to his teammate of Jake Sydney. So now he is in the midst here of lap traffic, looking to try and, I guess, pass as many cars as he can. But Wheeler now has got the gap down to just about 5 seconds. He's closing about 2 seconds to the 19 of Jake Sydney with him battling those lap cars. So we'll see if these guys can maybe continue to close in. But we're already past halfway to our first caution, so time is already kind of starting to run out here.
Summers now 2 laps down after that pit stop. Not quite sure what the reason for that is, considering we were gonna have a we were gonna have a caution at lap 50 anyway. Maybe there was some other issue that we were not able to see on that car that needed fixing. But Jake Sydney mired in lap traffic. Adrian Wheeler slowly chipping away at that lead. And he's now stuck behind the checkered flag racing teammates of Damon Kirby and Laurie Jackson. Also, Tim Berry in the 11, not running very good right here. But, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. It's the All-Star race. But an uncharacteristically bad stretch of races here for Tim Berry as of recent. But here comes Sydney trying to get to the inside of Damon Kirby. And honestly, just with the way these guys are racing, I wouldn't try too hard to fight these guys, because it's going to be a tough battle to win here. Akira Tajima and Michael Harbin have both gotten by Adrian Wheeler here. The caution is out. On the back straightaway, we've got trouble. And it's Kate Summers. And it just continues for Pacific Racing, and that also included George Bryan. So it looks like a 2-car wreck on the back straightaway at least. See if we can find anyone else with damage. Doesn't appear to be. So a minor accident on the back straightaway, and everyone comes in and pits now on lap 35. Jake Sydney's probably going to come out of the pits first, given the lead he had and the fact that he's got the first pit box. He's led all 35 laps so far. Ooh. They probably pitted when they were... They probably pitted the previous lap, I think, because they're definitely not going to jump the 19. Maybe the pace car picked them up in front of the leader, but Sydney should be the leader, then Tajima, then the 55, the 40, and Darren Walker looks like he's going to move up into the 5th position. Looks like this incident started in turn 2, judging by the tire tracks. And George Bryan's still in the race. They patched all that up thanks to the moderate damage. And the 18 is back in the pits. Zach Dearman. Not sure what's going on with the 18 car. Doesn't appear to be a mechanical failure. Maybe he entered his pit box awkward and is being towed. And if that's the case, he's probably going to lose multiple laps, and that's a tough break for the 18 of Dearman. But our first caution of the race happens on lap number 34 of 120. We're going to wave these 3 cars around, and then we'll show you a replay, and then we'll get you back to the restart here in the All-Star race at Bristol. First caution of the race on lap number 31. George Bryan overcooks it into turn 2, gets into the side of Adrian Wheeler, and he bounces off the turn 2 wall, and then you're going to see an evasive move gone wrong for Karina Willis-Callaway, and that sends Kate Summers into the stopped number 3 car of George Bryan. And that is going to hinder the day of George Bryan for sure, and make Kate Summers' already bad start even worse, as there was nothing she could do there. She just got turned by the 41. And George Bryan just got even more damage from that as well. So Thankfully, again, we have moderate damage, so these guys should be able to patch that up and keep it going, but it's yet to be seen if they're gonna still be fast after that.
Taking a look here at full speed, Brian just barely makes contact there with Adrian Wheeler. Spins to the outside wall, and then here comes Kate Summers making contact there with Willis Calloway, both trying to make evasive maneuvers, get together, and send Summers into the stop 3 car. A hard hit there, all things considered for both Brian and Kate Summers, but hopefully they both keep it rolling. They're both going to come back into the pits and get the damage repaired. Both will be able to return to the racetrack. We'll have to see if either or both are still up to pace. We'll have to see as this race goes along, but still a really tough break there for the likes of George Bryan and Kate Summers.
Welcome back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, wrapping up our first caution of the night on lap number 38. We're going to have another caution on lap 50, so a short sprint to that first stage break here. Jake Sidney's led every lap so far. Akiya Tajima's in second, and then it's Michael Harbin, Adrian Wheeler, and Darren Walker. And we see a few cars off the lead lap, including 2 of the cars that were involved in the accident, Kate Summers and George Bryan. And they're definitely going to mess with this lead battle. As we get back to the green here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the 92 did not go, and the 19 and the 99 are going to be clear. Or maybe the 99 won't be clear. He will down the back straightaway. Oh, that's a big checkup by the lap cars.
Big checkup behind the 92. A lot of double file here. This could get pretty crazy. Walker almost gets into George Bryan. I almost go 3 wide there. Ooh, this is getting really sketchy back here. Boy.
Oh, here comes Tajima.
Whoa.
Right behind the 19 of Jake Sidney. We might have our first lead change. Michael Harbin is going to save it. But they're 3 wide entering the corner.
3 wide. Lulu pushes Wheeler up the track.
Somehow Lulu Connie got out of that with all those positions. But back up at the front, it looks like Dearman came into the pits and Tajima took the lead from the 19 of Jake Sidney. There's our first lead change of the race on lap number 42. So Akiya Tajima to the point. And the battle for third is on between Darren Walker and Corbin Taps, but they've got to navigate around some of these lap traffic. The 40 and the 55 are both trying to pass Lulu Connie here for position. And how about Corbin Taps, who was he started near the back in this race. Oh, makes contact with the 92. I was going to say he's done a good job of climbing his way up through the field. He's now up into P4, so that's a good run for the 95, or not the 95, the 16 car. I can't believe I said that. He hasn't driven the 95 in a while, but yeah, Akiya Tajima now in front, but we are approaching that first caution of the race. I'm just going to go ahead and put the command in right there and trigger it at lap 50.
Itajima, good job there by the 99, taking the race lead. Jake Sidney in second, now in a position that he hasn't been in all race so far. Now sitting in the second position, trying to stay within close proximity of Tajima, but Tajima in the 99 is trying to pull away a little bit with that race. I don't know if that 19's maybe a bit ill-handling now that he's in a bit of dirty air there, but he's dropping back quite a bit from the 99 Tajima, but we'll have to see if he can maybe close back in a little bit. He did that last time around, so maybe that 19 car is finally starting to get some grip. Almost got into his teammate.
Oh, Taps is around!
Oh.
Off of turn 2! And he gets piled into by Kate Summers, and we've got a big mess on the back straightaway. Caution is out. That will be our stage caution. And it seems like every single incident we've seen has involved one of these cars. Oh boy. Tim Barry, Karina Willis-Calloway, the fan vote winner involved in that. And everyone's coming back down the pits, and it's all started with Corbin Taps getting sent around in turn number 2. Only fuel this time for the 19. Fuel only for a lot of these guys, but some of them are taking tires, and it looks like some of them didn't pit at all. Lakin Herndon and Jack Gino. So
Split strategy.
Yeah, split strategy here on lap number 50 as we end our first stage break. Again, this will be our stage caution. It's close enough to lap 50. So, looks like Herndon's going to be your leader now. Kate Summers is still going, although without a front end. Again, thank you, moderate damage. They fixed up that 41 pretty good. She's even still in 10th place. Again, thank you, moderate damage. Well, we got a lot to unpack here after that big pileup on the back straightaway. I'm still not entirely sure how many cars were in that. I think it was about 5 or 6, but we're going to show you the replay of what happened, and then we'll get you back to the All-Star race here at Bristol. Here's what brought out caution number 2 and gave us our scheduled yellow a little early. Corbin Taps, same thing that happened to George Bryan earlier, just got a little too aggressive in turn 2. And then just like last time, Kate Summers tries to avoid it and is unable to. Karina Willis-Callaway gets collected in that as well. Tim Berry, Laurie Jackson, Tyler Landry, and a few others get minor scrapes from that. I believe Kevin DuPont also did as well. So several drivers involved there on the back straightaway. Kate Summers involved in another one. But of course, the biggest driver that took out was Corbin Taps, who was running in P4 at the time. And now his day is going to be getting significantly worse after that. Then, of course, the 92 and the 41 also got extensive damage from that. So, Kate Summers' day has already been pretty bad, and that's going to put a damper on the fan vote winner, Karina Willis-Callaway's day as well. So, again, moderate damage. We'll see how much of that gets fixed up. And these guys probably all still going to be in the race, I'd imagine, but again, we'll have to see the level of damage that ends up causing to their race cars.
Taking a look here, Corbin Taps, sees Walker slip up a little bit, tries to take advantage, just makes contact with him, spins out just like the first incident, and just kind of get a classic Bristol pileup here down the back stretch as Kate Summers runs in the back of him there, ricochets up into Karina Willis-Callaway, and a lot of other drivers with nowhere to go get some bits and pieces of that, including, like I mentioned, you got Kevin DuPont with a little bit of damage, Laurie Jackson got a piece of that, and a couple other drivers with nowhere to go might have piled into that a little bit, but the big hitters in this one, Kate Summers, Karina Willis-Callaway, and Corbin Taps, all with pretty heavy damage after that one. And like I mentioned, we'll have to see how much of that they can repair. We'll have to see, but that's definitely going to throw a wrench into all these guys today, especially Kate Summers, who was already kind of going wrong there for the first incident. The day, unfortunately, just seems to be getting worse there for that night, too. A really, really tough break for her.
Welcome back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, wrapping up caution number 2 of the night. Kind of the scheduled caution, kind of not. There was going to be a caution at this time anyway, but they just happened to wreck around this time, so yeah. This is our first of our 2 scheduled cautions. Lakin Herndon and Jack Gino are going to lead the field. They did not pit under that last caution. Jake Sidney, Jacob Lopez, Tyler Landry, Tim Berry all took fuel only. And I think you got to go back to the 8 of Darren Walker to find the first driver that took tires. We are back green here at Bristol. We've still got some lap cars to deal with, and they are making things difficult for the 39 and the 81. Here comes Sidney, going to try and look to the inside, but there are lap cars there as well. We'll have to see how these guys will be able to negotiate getting past these slower cars.
Dearman out in front now. The 39 of Lakin Herndon, of course, is a couple of laps down, so Herndon's still holding on to the lead.
Dearman's the lap down car, and Herndon's the lead lap car.
Oh, did I switch them around? My bad there, but Herndon, the leader, trying to hold on, is going to barely get in front of Dearman and put a lap car in between himself and Jack Gino. Herman Taps in the 16 there, 1 lap down. Jake Sidney, 3rd. Jacob Lopez, 4th. 66 of Tyler Landry is now up into 5th. Ooh, Dearman back to the inside of Herndon. Here comes Gino looking to take advantage. And a bit of teamwork there potentially, but Gino had to check up there on the inside. They're going to stay side by side here.
Gino trying to get the lead away from Lakin Herndon and become our 4th different leader. He led at the line last time by 9/1000ths of a second. Is Herndon going to try a crossover into turn 3? Wasn't able to get enough momentum to do it. Jake Sidney lurking behind them in 3rd. But out in front still the 81 and the 39, and we got to keep an eye on those cars with tires. It doesn't look like they've actually made up that many spots. I believe the 1 of Kevin Dupont is the highest running of them. I know the 8 also took tires. But those tires don't seem to be helping that much, at least initially. For those guys that did take them, this 18's being very sketchy around the 81 here. They are teammates. I'd imagine they're going to try and work together. Dearman going to try and block Lakin Herndon here. But there's another teammate behind them, Jake Sidney. The dominant car of the day so far. Lost the lead on strategy. We'll see if he'll be able to get it back. Actually, he lost the lead on the track as well to Akiya Tajima. And then ended up getting it back, getting back ahead of him on strategy. But either way, dominant car of the day now in 3rd. And Jack Gino's trying to pull away from the 18 and all these other guys.
18, Zach Dearman maybe trying to play a bit of defense here on the 39 of Lakin Herndon, and now here comes Jake Sidney in the 19, looking to get back up into 2nd. Herndon gets side by side with Dearman there off of turn number 4 and clears them here into 1 and 2. So now we'll see if Lakin Herndon maybe has a swipe here at the 81 of Jack Gino for that race lead, and Jake Sidney's now next in line to try and get by Jack Gino. And speaking of teammates, got a couple of teammates battling back here. Tyler Landry and Holly Martin both battling for the 5th position with their teammate a lap down behind him there, Corbin Taps, with Greenwell's Callaway there in the 41 right behind him looking to get by. Callaway, of course, still on the lead lap and has actually made up some positions since the restart. Now up in the 7th position. So that 41 still got some speed despite getting involved in that accident, which is nice to see there. But still battling back there, and I think we got a battle heating up here as Herndon closes in to the 81 of Gino.
Yeah, he gained quite a bit of time these last few laps, so Gino's going to have to hold him off once again. They're both going to go way up the track. The 81 got very loose and checked up a lot off of turn 2. That should help Herndon close in a little bit more, and he's leaving the bottom lane open for Lakin Herndon. Good arc off of turn 4 for the 39, and he should be able to finish him off in 1 and 2, and he will. Lakin Herndon retakes the lead away from Jack Gino. All this happening in front of Jake Sidney, who has lost a bit of time here, but is still lurking if these two end up getting into it. And we'll see if Gino will be able to make a move back on Herndon here soon. It looks like he's going to try it, but not the greatest exit off of turn 2 there for the 81. Further behind, Jacob Lopez in 4th place. And then we've got Holly Martin and Tyler Landry continuing their battle for 5th. We're going to look a little deeper in the field here. Damon Kirby fighting for a top 10 spot here. Akiya Tajima has, the tires play definitely has not helped. I guess they didn't run enough laps on their tires for that to really matter that much. Looks like Lulu Connie's gotten into the wall, so her good run has now had a damper put on it, so that's unfortunate for her. How about this battle for 3rd, as Sidney's lost a bunch of time and now is in the clutches of Jacob Lopez and possibly Holly Martin here for the 3rd position.
Sidney fell back quite a bit there off of the 81 of Jack Gino, and he slips up in 1 and 2 here. Here comes the 50 of Jacob Lopez. That could probably be why he lost all that time there, as they stay side by side here through 3 and 4. Lopez on the inside is going to have the advantage here into turn 1 if he stays on the inside and he clears. Jake Sidney there for the 3rd position, and now Holly Martin all over the back bumper of that 19 machine looking for a way around. Ooh, Jake Sidney might have the opportunity to try and cross Lopez over here. We'll see if he sends it into 1 and 2, and for the lead, Gino gets Herndon back, and he might have done a bit of boot scooting boogie there.
He might have, and I bet you Lakin Herndon's not going to be too happy about that. These two have swapped the lead back and forth ever since they got the top 2 spots. That play to not pit so far seems to be working out for them. And we know that we're going to have another caution at lap 95, so they can come in and take their fuel there if they need it. Here comes Herndon with the crossover, and he's going to get aggressive in 1 and 2. He's going to bump Gino up the track. A taste of Gino's own medicine. Dealed out by the 39, and another lead change here between these two, and they're going to be closing in on lap traffic here soon. The 92 of Kate Summers, the 3 of George Bryan. Summers is multiple laps down, but Bryan is on the lead lap. So we know at least Brian's going to want to fight these guys to stay on the lead lap, at least until the next caution comes out.
Move there cost Gino quite a bit of time now. 7/10 down as it stands right now. Now a second down as Herndon gets by the 92 of Kate Summers there without any big issues. Gino went a little bit wide there, maybe costing him even more time there, but Herndon with the payback there, moving Gino out of the way, takes the lead back away. And like you kind of mentioned, just a taste of Gino's own medicine there. And Herndon trying to pull away now with the lead, now almost up 1.5 seconds to the 81 of Jack Gino. Jacob Lopez right now still holding on to third. Holly Martin has gotten by Jake Sidney there for fourth, but for the lead, Herndon still not done as he moves George Bryan out of the way as well. That 39 taking no prisoners out there here tonight, as now we got a battle for third. Here comes Holly Martin.
Holly Martin in the 6th car, trying to take the position. Sidney way up the racetrack in 5th. That car's handling has just gone away ever since he ended up in dirty air. That 19 car is struggling.
He keeps slipping wide.
Tyler Landry has gotten into the wall at some point, but he's still going to try and pass Sidney for a top 5 spot here. Tim Berry running silently in 7th. Here comes Darren Walker trying to pass Karina Willis-Callaway for 8th. And Akia Tajima and Michael Harvin are battling each other for 10th back here. Back out in front, though, it's Lakin Herndon, and now Jack Gino has to deal with George Bryan, who's going to almost cut him off there in the corner. These guys are well ahead of 3rd place, but of course we know that eventually those guys will be able to catch back up. We're less than 10 laps away from our second caution, and getting ready to prepare ourselves for the final sprint here at Bristol. This has been an outstanding race so far. I can only imagine what that final sprint has in store for us. But right now, Lakin Herndon, Jack Gino facing the field. Jacob Lopez still trying to run them down in 3rd. Holly Martin, Jake Sidney round out the top 5. I think I just saw somebody in the pits. Damon Kirby. And he had an oil leak. So that was a mechanical failure on the 13. That's a tough break for him.
Tough break there for Damon Kirby, but up front, it's still Lakin Herndon now with almost 2 seconds to Jack Gino, but Gino is now clear of all the lap traffic. He's got a clean racetrack ahead of him, and we'll see if he can maybe close in a little bit. And he closed it a little bit that last time by, so that 81 might be kicking things into high gear here before we get to that final run, which we'll see the caution come out for here in just a couple laps time. A couple cars in front of the 39 of Herndon here. You got the 9 of Lori Jackson, the 42 of Lulu Connie battling to try, and I believe both stay on the lead lap here. I bet they're definitely going to be fighting hard to stay on the lead lap before we get to that caution, especially with it just in the horizon. So I definitely watch out here in front of the 39 here in these next couple laps.
Yeah, the 39 catching these lap cars could hold him up, but it hasn't held him up that much to Jack Gino, so he might just be able to bide his time and stay in the lead once we get to the end of lap 90 here. And the caution will come out once the last car has gotten to lap number 90, so we're going to be watching these 2 cars battle for position. And I'm surprised this is not holding up the 39 as much as it could be, because that gap has actually increased back to Jack Gino. That 81 might also have the handling going away on it, as we are about to get our second scheduled yellow, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. As the caution comes out at the end of lap 90, the 9 and the 42 will stay on the lead lap. I believe the 18, no, I think the 3 car will get back on the lead lap due to the free pass once again. And now everyone's going to come into pit. At least the top 2 will. But only
Lopez.
the top 2. I mean, those 2 needed to take fuel, so that makes sense. But everybody else is staying out. So it looks like that might have been a short-term gain, long-term loss kind of deal for both the 39 and the 81. And now Jacob Lopez finds himself in the lead in the All-Star race.
I don't know if they were maybe planning on everybody maybe coming down and topping off here, but that wasn't the case, and now they are both going to be behind the 8 ball here for this final sprint. That's a tough break there for those 2. They gave us a really good battle for the lead there during that second stint. Fortunately, things are kind of going awry for them here, and Doesn't look like they might be in contention for this one, but we never know. Anything can happen. We'll have to see, but right now, yeah, you got Jacob Lopez now out in front, Holly Martin second, Jake Sidney in third. Shaping up to be a fantastic finish here from Bristol.
Lucky break for Zach Dearman. He'll get one of his laps back due to the 39 and 81 pitting, and George Bryan will get his second free pass of the night and get himself back on the lead lap as well. But yeah, Jacob Lopez is now your leader. Holly Martin in second. Damon Kirby is at least one lap down. He's 2 laps down, so he is going to line up on the inside here on this final restart. Then it will be Jake Sidney, Tyler Landry, Corbin Taps, who's off the lead lap here, Darren Walker, Karina Willis-Callaway, Tim Berry, Kia Tajima, Michael Harvin, Kevin DuPont round out the top 10. The 92 is still several laps down as well. But we should be seeing the lights go out on the pace car here this time by... My bad, this is the backstretch, but still, we should be seeing the lights go out this time by. And Gino and Herndon are now 14th and 15th, and I can't imagine these guys are going to be gaining that many positions. I gotta check, though, if they took tires. I think they took 2 tires on those pit stops, so they're gonna have the freshest tires in the field, even if it's only half of their tires being that fresh. So we'll see if they might be able to use that to maybe at least get back into the top 10. But I don't think they're going to be contending for the win anymore, as the lights are now out on the pace car, and we're going to be going back green here at the end of this lap.
Probably going to be the restart for all the marbles here. Got 3 lining up on the inside. We'll have to see if Lopez can clear. We know the 13 isn't too far off the pace as far as I could see. Just had to come down for an oil leak, so we'll see what happens here on this restart.
Lap
this
number
is it right here.
Of 120. Lopez
that was a good restart for the 50.
We are back underway.
That was a slid up, though.
He had a great initial jump, but Kirby was able to get him there in the corner. And we'll see if he's going to be able to stay underneath through turn 3. It doesn't look like it, and Jacob Lopez is looking like he's in a good spot here. Holly Martin and Jake Sidney battling for second. Martin will have the spot now, and this is a great opportunity for Lopez to try and pull away from every single one of these drivers and not have to worry about them for this final 25-lap sprint. Taps trying to look to the inside here of Damon Kirby. That's not for... Actually, that's not for position at all. Taps is 1 lap down. Kirby's 2 down. But what this does do is this keeps second from closing in on Lopez, but Lopez isn't pulling away that much, at least not initially. But he had a very good turn 3 and 4 there, and that could help him out. I believe, if I remember correctly, he got very close to winning the All-Star race last year. Maybe going to try and make up for that one that got away.
Holly Martin may be struggling a bit here between the lap cars of Taps and Damon Kirby. Taps may be trying to clear away for his teammate there, but not able to get by the 13 of Kirby, probably with the amount of rear-end damage to the 16, probably holding him up just a little bit. Jake Sidney there, the 19's falling back a little bit. Tyler Landry up into 4th, Walker up into 5th. Guys definitely need to try and make a charge here sooner than later if they want to potentially have a shot at the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Martin gets to the inside here of Corbin Taps. Jake Sidney waiting in the wings as well. See if he can potentially make a move. Walker trying to get under Landry here, but up front, Lopez doing everything he can to pull away, but Damon Kirby in the 13 is also there. He could definitely throw a wrench into things.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good gap over second now, as Holly Martin is struggling mightily to get by the 16 of Corbin Taps. She might be able to do it here in turn 1. No, maybe not. She's going to try it off a 2 here, but she's just struggling, and that's just allowing Jacob Lopez to continue to open up that gap as we are closing in on 15 laps to go, and Jacob Lopez looking to try and get his first All-Star race win here for Motor Racing Ventures. Martin still struggling to get by her teammate Corbin Taps. Sidney, Landry, and Walker waiting in the wings behind. Sidney slides up the track. This could be an opportunity for Landry to move into the 3rd position. Michael Harvin and Karina Willis-Callaway's had quite a good run here today for being the fan vote driver. Of course, we saw the fan vote driver win this race in Season 2 with Charlie McCarran. But good run for the 41, even despite getting into that accident. But Lopez continues to pull away. Kirby is not being that much of a nuisance, and it looks like Holly Martin will finally get by the 16 of Corbin Taps, but is there enough time? Caution is out! There will be enough time! Oh, Tim Berry on the back straightaway. Summers involved in another one, and they're not done. Lori Jackson and Lulu Connie.
A big one down the back.
Oh boy, this thing's not over yet.
What I said about that last restart being for all
George
marbles,
Bryan
scratch
involved
that.
as well.
Oh boy. Heavy damage to the 3.
And that's the last thing that Jacob Lopez wanted to see.
We're going to restart here inside of 10 to go, so all the lap cars are now going to be starting in line.
We're actually going to wave around the lap cars, at least the...
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to wave them around here for the All-Star race. Another All-Star race rule. Inside 10 to go, all the lap cars line up at the back. So we should probably get to doing that here right now.
So yeah, that is going to be big for the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Big detriment, I should probably say.
So the 13, the 16 will all get around. Anybody else that needs waving, the 18 of Zach Dearman as well, once he gets an opportunity to. But that was a big wreck down the back straightaway, and once again, it looks like everybody is going to be continuing. Another lap lost for the 92. It just continues for Kate Summers. I'm pretty sure she's been involved in every single wreck in this race. Dearman finally waving around here, but that should be the last car that we need to wave. Well, we're going to show you the replay of what happened down there on the backstretch that involved Tim Berry, Lulu Connie, Lori Jackson, and others, and then we'll get you to, hopefully, probably the final restart of the race, as Jacob Lopez is going to have to hold off Holly Martin, Jake Sidney, and the rest of the field. Well, here is our fourth caution of the day, third one for cause. 41 in the 11 cross pads off of turn 2, same place where we've been seeing all the accidents. Akia Tajima is going to pile in, and then Lulu Connie is going to pile in, and look at the impact for Tim Berry as Kate Summers gets involved in her third wreck of the day. And then Lulu Connie, trying to save it, gets caught up with Lori Jackson and George Bryan there. Jackson up on top of the wall there for a moment. Thankfully, comes back down to rest on all four wheels. But a wild accident involving about 5 cars there, including Lulu Connie, Tim Berry, and Kate Summers again. And this is going to set up a very interesting restart here late in the race. All the lap cars are going to be cleared out of the way. And so it'll just be the lead lap cars here fighting up at the front. It'll be interesting to see if Jacob Lopez can hold on to that lead.
Riding along here with the number 92, Kate Summers, here through this incident. Now goes the 11 of Barry, and look out. Oh.
Welcome back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We are wrapping up, hopefully, our final caution of the race, and we're going to be getting to our final restart of the race with 9 laps to go. Jacob Lopez, Holly Martin, Jake Sidney, Tyler Landry, Darren Walker is your top 5. All the lap cars are out of the way. There's nothing left. There's no one left to fight but each other. Pace car is going to pull off. Lopez is on the gas, and we are back racing here in the All-Star race. Decent restart for Lopez, but he might be leaving too much of a lane for Martin as she's going to get to the inside in turn number 3. Will she be able to hang on to it? It doesn't look like it, and Lopez will make the outside work in 4. And now he's going to try and gap the 6 and the 19, but we still got plenty more laps left. Lopez is up the track again.
He keeps going up the track there in 1 and 2, and that's really costing him. He almost lost the lead twice. He might even lose the lead this time. Martin really close there through 3 and 4. Had to get out of the gas a little bit, but if Lopez goes wide once again, which he does, Holly's going to get a chance, and here she comes.
But he's going to stay in front. but he keeps leaving enough of a gap for the 6 to possibly try and get underneath. We've got 6 laps to go now. I don't think this battle is over. Sydney going up the track. Landry's going to try and pass for third. That might take him out of the fight. But now Lopez trying to pull away from Holly Martin. Holly Martin trying to run in his tire tracks here. Lopez again up the racetrack, but so is Martin. Better corner there for Sydney, so maybe he's not out of it yet. Jack Gino makes a save off the end of turn number 2. And now Martin's up the racetrack, and that's going to give Lopez an opportunity to gap her. We've got 5 laps to go. 4 laps to go here at Bristol.
3 laps to go, and these laps will go by in a flash. So if Martin or Sydney has anything for the safety of Lopez, it needs to come right now. Martin went a little bit wide there off of 4. Might fall into the clutches here of Jake Sydney, who's trying to get to the inside. And if these two really start going at it, it might be over here from Bristol. Jacob Lopez trying to pull away with the race lead. And he has got a big lead now. About 1.5 seconds back to the 6. It might take something crazy at this point. Lopez trying to bring it around here. He's bringing it to the white flag this time by. Just one more clean lap is all the 50 car needs.
One more lap to go for Jacob Lopez as they fight for second behind. 2 seconds behind, as a matter of fact, and he's got a clean track in front of him. Sydney looks like he did get second, but that's not gonna matter. Coming through turns 3 and 4, Jacob Lopez wins the Season 4 All-Star race.
Great drive, and what a race.
They had a chance to pass him, but they were unable to take advantage, and Lopez was able to get away and claim his first All-Star race victory. Our all-time leader in race wins just added another trophy to his trophy case. Here are your race results right here. Jacob Lopez, of course, getting the win. Jake Sydney in second. Holly Martin third. Darren Walker finishes 4th. And Tyler Landry rounds out your top 5. That breaks Walker Brothers Racing's perfect streak in the All-Star race. It'll end at 2. Kevin DuPont, Adrian Wheeler, Jack Gino, Karina Willis-Callaway, and Michael Harvin round out the top 10. And I guess Gino finishing 8th. That's about as good as he could have asked after the strategy went wrong. But he was able to still recover for a decent finish here. Well, Caleb, that was definitely an interesting race for sure. What did you think about it? And maybe you can give us a preview for, I guess, your secondary home track. The race number 15 is going to be at the Kentucky Speedway.
That was a fantastic race here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Usually about everything you could ask for from this track. We saw a lot of classic short track tempers here tonight, no doubt about that. But we still saw a lot of great racing as well. A very, very fun night here from Bristol, and a huge congratulations are in order for the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Just pulled away with it there at the end. A great drive from that 50 car. And then, yeah, like you said, next race out, we got the Kentucky Speedway. That also ought to definitely be an interesting one. A 1.5 miler towards northern Kentucky. It's very fast. It's very wide as well for a 1.5 miler, so it definitely should also produce some fun racing as well. But yeah, what a fantastic race here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway, and just what a win for Jacob Lopez, getting it done here in the All-Star race. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and last year when we went to Kentucky, it set the all-time lead change record at 27. So are we going to be able to beat that this year? We'll see. But it's going to be a fun race for sure. 16 cars finishing on the lead lap here in the All-Star race. Everybody finished the race. Again, thank you, Moderate Damage, for that. Kate Summers, though, finishing 6 laps behind. I mean, yeah, it was just not a good race for her. But thankfully, doesn't matter. It's just for points. So, or it's not for points, rather. It's just for pride. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's All-Star Race festivities. Again, next week we're going to be at the Kentucky Speedway. That's going to be a fun one for sure. And on behalf of Caleb Rose, this is Brendan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network, signing out.